O'Neill Outside is presented by CVA. It's just a better gun. Today, O'Neill visits Georgia's Ossabaw Island to better understand the ongoing feral hog control program conducted by the Georgia Department of Natural Resources.
This is a map of Ossabaw Island, and Charlie's here to tell us all about it, give us the physical characteristics, then I have other questions.
Okay, we have about 12,000 acres of upland area that is dry nearly all of the time. Then the rest of the original property boundary totals about 25,000 acres, and that includes all the salt marsh that encompasses the whole entire island.
It's owned by the state of Georgia.
That's correct.
Managed by the state of Georgia.
Yes.
How did you come by the ownership of this?
In the late 1970s, the property was purchased by the state. The original landowner did not want to see the property developed, and that's why she wanted to get into some form of government ownership to protect the integrity of the island and the natural communities.
And it never will now.
No, never will be developed.
It's going to be just like it is now.
That's correct.
What do you call it, a heritage?
Heritage preserve, and that differs from a lot of the state-owned property that we manage as state parks or wildlife management areas in that it's a higher level of protection, and anything to occur on this property has to be done for one of three primary objectives, and that's research, education, or management.
And that was the background in you owning it now.
That's right. That's a set of stipulations that we have to adhere to make any sort of management action on the island. We have to be adhering to one of those three primary objectives.
So all of this is going to remain the same and under your management, the state of Georgia?
Yes.
Okay. And part of that management technique is the control of the what kind of species?
Feral hogs. A non-native invasive species that has been on this island for hundreds of years.
And the effect of these hogs are really devastating, and they have to be controlled.
That's correct. They can cause vegetative community shifts and competition for resources for native species, and then direct depredation on nesting species, especially sea turtles, and that's a primary objective, is to control the depredation on sea turtle nests on this island. This island is critical habitat for sea turtle nesting.
And that's what we're doing here today.
O'Neill Outside, brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Bill Jordan's Real Tree, family, friends, and the outdoors. Loyal Pet Food for a lifetime. And XGO, the first layer of defense.
O'Neill here with a new comfortable base layer for outdoorsmen. It's called XGO. You may know about it already. It's been used by the military for over 10 years, and if it's right for them, it's certainly right for us. The Acclimate Dry Moisture Wicking technology keeps you warm, comfortable, and dry under any conditions, while AG47 Silver controls scent-causing bacteria. XGO, 100% made in the USA and only available at proxgo.com outdoors.
CVA's new Acura MR. Its premium Bergara barrel guarantees it to be the most accurate muzzleloader you've ever shot. Or your money back. Visit CVA.com for details.
In my career, I've learned a thing or two about having the right equipment and a great crew. I've also learned how great it is to do the things you love. That's why I'm happy to be part of the Bass Pro family, because a name you can trust, people who stand behind you, and the equipment you can count on mean everything to me. Bass Pro Shops, where commitment, passion, and the great outdoors all come together.
You own guns, here's a protection system you've just got to have. Gun Protect. It inhibits rust at the molecular level. How? The cloak emits a vapor to create a corrosion-inhibiting skin that attaches to all metals and locks out corrosion. Gun Protect cloaks are designed for your long guns and for your handguns. There's even a cloak to protect your ammo. Use Gun Protect at home or in the field. Gun Protect, total protection at the molecular level.
YearOneWheels.com is your source for muscle car wheels. Classic styles in original and modern sizes. And now available 17-inch 5-spoke and snowflake wheels as low as $199 each. Update your muscle car now. Visit YearOneWheels.com.
All right, I'm gonna play hardball with him. You put on a good poker face, and once I get the deal we want, I'll slip in the code word. Until then, don't even move.
Hey, you guys. Here's our offer.
Sold. Let's go get in the car.
Code word Tomahawk, honey. Come on.
Deals so big on Toyotas, they're hard to believe. Get a low 0% APR on our new 2013 Toyota Tundra. Toyota, let's go places.
This is the first thing you do when you get here is ride through and just look.
Well, if we got daylight, that's obviously one of the first quickest things to do is cover the main roads on the island. But depending on how much time we have and what the pigs happen to be doing at the time, we may use a few other tactics.
Such as?
Well, some areas are more conducive to spot and stalk style hunting where we actually get off on foot. We can be a lot quieter than we can in the vehicle. We can sometimes be more productive that way. Other times a year, we, particularly when turtle nesting season comes in, we really focus in on the trapping when we got more personnel to help cover those traps and really target the hogs, especially out closer towards the beach.
Okay. Can we night hunt?
Yes, yes. At night, we may use a variety of techniques using spotlights, but unlike deer, hogs don't have as good an eye shine, so they're harder to pick out with a spotlight. Occasionally we'll get to use a tool called a thermal imager that picks up a heat signature. We can do that with all the lights out and pick up the heat signature of a pig in advance, line up the rifle on the pig, and do all that before we even light it up with a spotlight, and that can really increase your effectiveness.
Okay. How far out will you see pigs doing this? I mean, should I be looking close by or way down the road or what?
They could be right next to the side of the road and almost run out from underneath the truck, or they could be 100 yards back through a clearing, so you have to really keep your eyes peeled, especially for any movement.
What kind of colors am I looking for?
Any flavor of pig you could imagine occurs on this island.
Black,
We've got
spotted,
gray, black
white.
and white striped, any number solid black, some reddish tint, some solid gray.
Okay.
Any number of colors. Movement is the key.
Okay.
Areas like this where you can see a long distance is a good way to catch a pig out in these tidal creeks here. A lot of times we'll creep along real slow, and if you catch one out there, if they're far enough out, they won't even spook from seeing the vehicle.
This is Bradley Beach, 4.5 miles long on Ossabaw Island. And the way this looks now and the reason you work here is this beach, isn't it? Give me a little history.
Back in the 80s, we didn't do any hog management on the island at all. And while sea turtles were nesting on the island, nearly all of the nests were depredated, in excess of 90%. In the early 90s, the state started taking an active role in hog management on the island and cut that rate down to about 60 or 70%.
Okay. And?
Recently, in the early 2000s, we acquired a grant to increase our hog control efforts on the island. In part of that, we've been able to hire a full-time employee dedicated to hog management and summer internships for a few additional hands of help on the island to control hogs. And we've gotten the nest depredations down into the single digits.
So the hog management wasn't just to remove the hogs, but to save the sea turtles.
Right, that's the catalyst for the whole hog management process.
In case you're not familiar with how it happens, give me this nesting procedure and what do the hogs do to the nest?
Okay, well, as you can see here, the turtles come up the beach here, and they'll lay their nests right here at the top edge of the where the surf comes in. They'll dig a hole, lay the eggs, and then they leave it. They use the ambient temperature to incubate those eggs, so there's no parental care there. And the hogs are excellent at finding food underneath the soil. So they'll find it, they'll sniff it out and root it up, and they'll damage every single egg in there.
They destroy the nest.
Destroy the nest.
So that whole year's production off of that turtle that came from God knows where, it's over.
Over.
And that, before you guys did this, 90% of the nest were ruined.
That's right. They can only nest on beaches, and most of the beaches that we have in this part of the state, or this part of the southeast, are covered with houses and all these other things that can impact turtle nesting. So these undeveloped beaches are very critical to turtle nesting success.
We'll return to Ossabaw Island after this week's outdoor cooking recipe.
You can always use recipes for ribs, be they pork ribs, wild boar ribs, or whatever. And this is another one I want you to try. Let's start off with brown sugar, garlic, ginger. Sounds good already, doesn't it? That's cayenne pepper. Chinese five spice. You ever heard of any of that? Sherry. Soy sauce. And finally, some water. Now this is kind of a two-step process here. I'll cook this on the egg at 300 degrees. It should take a couple of minutes till the brown sugar dissolves. And then I'll get the ribs out. Oh yeah, it's all set. See it steaming? Now I'm going to pour the concoction all over the ribs. Then I'm going to put this on the egg like this, and I'll cook that for 45 minutes. Then I'll take them out of the drip pan and I'll put them on there to brown for another 45 minutes. And it's all going to be at about 300 degrees. Now, if you haven't had ribs off the egg, let me tell you why they're going to be so good. Number one, you're using only natural charcoal. There are no briquettes. There's no natural gas. There's no propane. There's no lighter. There's no glue and additives in the charcoal. It's going to be the best ribs I'll bet you've ever had. I'll show them to you in a moment. Wild boar ribs on the big green egg. The ultimate cooking experience. You got to try these, guys. It's different.
I feed year-round for this one day. My payoff? The stuff of legends. Record Rack.
This is the Aerolite, our newest premium power belt bullet. Designed for maximum performance at moderate velocities, they're perfect for standard loads at any distance or magnum loads at long distance. The 250 grain power belt Aerolite, just one of over 40 different power belts. To find out which one's best for your gun, game, load, and distance, go to powerbeltbullets.com. Power Belt, America's #1 muzzleloading bullet.
This portion of O'Neill Outside is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. The Georgia Department of Natural Resources Go Fish Education Center. Georgia Power, official energy partner of you. Cass Creek, you can't get more real than Cass Creek. And the Georgia Department of Economic Development. Visit exploregeorgia.org and discover the unexpected.
One. It's the first 15 minutes of our hunt. Yeah, I guess you'll call it a hunt. Our
hog management.
That's right. All right, tell us where we are and give us our strategies this morning.
We're on Hairy Hammock today, and we're essentially doing a spot and stalk style hunt, trying to locate any pigs. And as you can see from some of the sizes of these, we're not discriminatory on the size of the pig.
It doesn't matter. If he's walking and breathing, we shoot him.
Even though they're small, they will grow into adult pigs and reproduce just the same.
Yeah. Hold on, where'd he go? Look at that. This is.
Where'd he go? Dead pig?
Yeah.
Since late yesterday afternoon, we hunted for about an hour last night, and then a giant rainstorm came in. And this morning, so that maybe 2 hours of hunting, we've already had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different encounters, either with a group of piglets, some yearlings, or up to a bigger pig like that. The place is full of pigs. And that's what these guys are doing. Every time we shoot one of these, or they shoot one of these pigs, it's that fewer number that will be able to pillage the turtle nest next year. This is some of the sign you'll look for, and I'm going to ask Charlie to describe what's going on here. It's along a pig trail, right?
Right, standing right here on a pig trail, you can see how worn down this pine tree is. They'll tear up this bark and get the sap running, and it's effectively a form of insect control for the pigs. They get that sap on them. They rub up against the trees to knock mud off of them. Mud's another thing they use to keep insects. That's why the term hog wallow. They get in there, roll in the mud, helps keep the insects down, and they use rub against trees as well to try and scrape them off.
What about the scars on the trees? Is that from the boar hooking the tree?
They can. That's another